The title of this thing is Leave Your Expectations at the Door, Please. And I really wish that was something that we could tell people when we met them for the first time. Hi, my name is Nupur. Leave your expectations at the door, please.
What if they met you in a ground or something?
उनके घर के डोर के बाहर छोड़ के go back, leave it there and come back.
And then come out.
I can't with expectations from the day that you arrive on this planet. It starts.
Okay. Then you tell me what has been one expectation out of you that you have at the back of your head always had. You know that people have always had this one expectation of you. Always.
That whatever I do, I'll do it nicely. Okay, actually, that is, in fact, the thing is, there is this thing, right, that Taurians are very stubborn people. So since I was a kid, I always had
Hmm.
with me that until I finish something, I don't want to let it go. That just became this
Okay.
of if you give Nupur a task, she will complete it. She's just a Taurian, stubborn Taurian. But what has sort of created that fear of failure is this high expectation that this is a person who's going to excel. Because when we went to competitions, we did well. When we were doing debates, we did well. When we were doing, look at my dog is expecting a treat, right?
I love the rubies in the frame.
Yeah, and you will see her jumping up and down in some time because she has her
Awesome.
expectations are very
We need some acrobatics in the show.
high. So, the thing,
We need some background.
the thing is that kind of an expectation that people set on you. I'm not saying that you should tell people that you're bad at something. I'm not even saying that. I am
Please
just,
don't.
yeah, don't say things, but appreciate someone and let it be. Don't set a precedent that, oh, this person will always do something. Like, it is not possible. How can I be good at everything? How is it
I
possible?
don't know. You tell me. You were supposed to be good at everything.
Yeah, I suck at a lot of things right now. See, you know,
No,
and
but I think you're in your case. I think I mean it was like an accepted norm, no?
what?
Like नुपुर अच्छा ही करेगी.
मैं करती अच्छा ही हूँ पर it is easier to do it when you don't have that like it's very difficult for someone like that to go and say listen I failed at something and the best thing that happened to me in my life was I failed at something terribly. It was the best thing. After that, no. It was like, oh, ठीक है. Somewhere you sort of bring down your expectation and say, okay, things can go wrong. So you can't really keep chasing this goal setting, like short term, long term goal. Like just be for a second in your life. Just stay in the present. कल का क्या होगा? Future का क्या होगा? 5 साल का plan, 10 साल का plan, projection. We are living so much in the future that it is incredibly difficult for us to not have expectations because we have to meet that projection. So today I expect these things to happen.
You know this starts right at the beginning. तुम बड़े होके क्या बनना चाहती? What do you want to be when you grow older
Yeah,
or when you're an adult? And you know that is where it starts. Right from there.
absolutely. And tell me one thing. Who allows a child to be? Why ask that question when tomorrow you're going to come out and say, नहीं नहीं तुम पायलट नहीं बन सकते तुमको इंजीनियर बनना पड़ेगा. That is an expectation I set on you. Okay, then why ask the child question? Just tell them ना बड़े होके बेटा तुम ये बनोगे.
To crash dreams, to shatter them. You know this starts right at the beginning.
That's sort of you. And also my father is an overachiever, was an overachiever, is an overachiever. And that is one thing. And my mother is an overachiever in her own right. In the banking world, everybody loves her. Okay. And when you see also these parents that are such performers, you also put that thing on yourself. Right? कि अरे यार इन्होंने ऐसा कर दिया स्ट्रीट लैम्प के नीचे बैठ के भी
मोमबत्ती रख के बहुत पढ़ाई की. बाढ़ आ रहा था. They crossed the river, swam across 3 kilometers, went walking 5 kilometers, then reached school.
This is the thing. Also, expectations are pinned on your own experiences. What if you write your thing on your phone?
And now you're feeling I have not swum 3 kilometers. I did not walk 5 kilometers. I
Ah,
came to school in
I didn't
bus.
feel I took bus, but. My parents would have took bus.
I took
As I
school bus.
went to school. So I have lived up to that expectation. But the thing is, for example, most of our expectations are pinned on what? On my experience. Okay. मेरे टाइम में ऐसा होता था तुम लोग कितना you're so useless. Okay, that is there. But the best example I can give you is when mobile phones came in, SMS, 100 SMS free per day came in. So you were
Yeah,
constantly
yeah.
talking to friends.
It was, I think, one of these student offers, student SIM
Correct.
cards.
Correct. Student SIM card. And I cried and I switched my, very stupidly, I switched my
Telecom
uh,
provider.
provider. Okay. And I'm उसका भुगत रही हूँ आज तक. ठीक है. I wish I was, I wish I was, like the day I become famous, I'm going to take names.
No, but I I just want to introduce to you at this moment to concept called porting. You can keep the exact same number
Yeah, I can.
and switch. In case you're not aware, and there are people in our audience who want to educate you about this, maybe they should share more details in the comment section.
Most ironic part is the area of work that I'm in. People come to me with a lot of technical questions, and I'm like, uh, "Hello Google."
Oh my God.
And now it is, "Hello ChatGPT, please can you help me little? I don't know anything." So
You know what to do.
I have no qualms about saying that I'm like a very happy ChatGPT user saying, "Hey ChatGPT, remember I spoke to you about this?" And it's like, "Yeah, of course, this. But when I had just met somebody with a friend, I'm like, "Hey, this person said, who?" Like,
I know who you're talking about. That's because the said person can be very zoned out.
no, yeah. But the thing,
Yeah.
yeah, okay. But the set person does not seem zoned out. I
I
expect
know.
this person to remember because they're so like this, they're listening to that person. Okay. They're like, oh, really? Oh, wow. 10 times I said that person's name was in that meeting, everything has happened. Then 3 days later, that person, who? Like,
Like,
come on. At least, like, I don't. So the only thing I have expectations from at this point in life is ChatGPT because nobody seems to remember anything I tell them, and I'm burdened with information I don't need in my head. So
welcome to 21st century. People will help navigate you. Don't worry, Rupa.
I don't know how to change my phone number, but I know that there's a device that exists that can cut perfectly round puris. And it's available for only 100 rupees.
Oh,
And I'm also aware of this device with which you can knead dough without dirtying your hands. Like, why do I have this information?
God,
I
I'm
don't
sweating,
need.
I'm crying. कुछ भी हो रहा है यहाँ पे.
Yeah, like, okay, so
Okay.
let's come back to the top. So that is the thing, right? Like, how do I expect anything from a person like me?
No clue.
Then why do
Okay,
I expect
just
someone?
I mean, just to detour from here. Oh my God, I've lost my train of thoughts.
People who are expecting something from me, listen, it's not going to happen.
This is not very good marketing. Okay, so yeah, we've been friends for the longest time. So, do you feel that friends may there is a lot of expectations?
Yes,
Like for
and
me, for example, I feel that sometimes that a few friends have this kind of some insane level of expectations from me, right? I'm available all the time. यार मेरी कोई जिंदगी नहीं है. You'll message me anytime and you expect me to respond. That it doesn't work with, especially in adult friendships, right?
yeah, because
That people have this thing.
द थिंग इज एडल्ट फ्रेंडशिप में वो 3 AM वाला फ्रेंड छोड़ दो यार, नहीं होता है वो 3 AM
भाई
फ्रेंड.
मैंने तीन 3 a.m. I have not seen in like a decade or something.
I've seen, but
Unless I really have to travel somewhere.
even if I'm up at 3 AM and there are few people's calls that I will answer at 3 AM. Very few, like the second count.
Sure, sure.
Okay. But if some random
Yeah,
calls me, I feel like talking to you, I will say, Hatri, I'm not your, I'm
exactly.
and the fact,
बट लोगों को आज भी वो वाला एक्सपेक्टेशन है मेरे से, फॉर एग्जाम्पल, एंड दैट रियली बॉदर्स मी, दैट इट मेक्स मी फील लाइक आई एम लेटिंग माय फ्रेंड्स डाउन, एंड इट बिल्ड्स अ लॉट ऑफ प्रेशर.
yeah,
You know, I feel like I'm not a good friend, good enough friend.
correct, you never answer my phone.
And I'm not good with phone. I know I'm
Oh,
terrible at
say that
answering
again.
calls,
I'm not good with phone. Say
you
that
know,
again.
that for a fact. But it is not, I'm terrible with
Then you're telling
phone
me how to
and
port my device,
talking to people.
how to port your
No,
device.
no, I'm not terrible with using phone. I'm not terrible with using phone. I know. The problem is I don't have I don't have this constant need to connect back with people very quickly. Like, you know, reconnect with them. If I've had a 1 hour conversation with somebody and I've heard to their problems and I've tried downloading all that they've had to tell me, then I will think that maybe they will be okay with not talking to me for a certain number of days, right? But somehow the expectation is that नहीं यार कल भी वो मेरे साथ 1 घंटा बात करेगी. I do feel that that, you know, and then this sort of builds and people start calling you out, or you know, saying the most embarrassing things in public, and uh, and sort of diss you for it. And I'm like, why, bro? Why? I mean, I'm not being vicious towards you. Maybe I've not picked your
Right?
call. Maybe
Like
I've not responded to you that and that moment.
if somebody is being that way about,
But it sort of,
yeah, yeah. See, the thing is, uh, we have so when you were in Germany, how many times we spoke? Yeah, once in a year or twice in a year, we spoke, right? We used to connect on
tell me, tell me.
Facebook and stuff like that. I don't even remember. I remember you calling me only in like hours of distress,
Yeah,
like when it was an off, not a birthday
yeah.
call. If you called me, it meant that it is an SOS call. Otherwise, there was no need to constantly keep in touch, right?
Yeah,
There is no need. And that is a problem with today because everybody is always available. And that is really annoying. Everybody's
true.
always there, if not in person, then like in virtually they're there.
But are they really there?
That is also true. That's also true. But they're watching you. Don't you feel like people are always watching you nowadays? I feel that.
I do. I mean, there are times in the middle of the night. I'll tell you this, no, but this really happens to me. Okay, in the middle of the night, I have woken up for a glass of water, or I want to use the restroom or something like that, and when I come back to bed, I cannot fall asleep immediately. Right? It's not possible. It's not humanly possible that you wake up, you come back, and then you're gone. So, but naturally, I pick up my phone and I'm scrolling through Insta. That's when this sort of thought creeps into my head where I'm like, oh, I'm online and people can see me online and somebody's going to ping me and
Oh,
ask me online with a question mark. I'm like,
yeah.
no, I I actually switched to using YouTube. Do you know that? When I wake up in the middle of the night, I no longer, open Instagram at all. I'm like YouTube shorts.
Yeah, and I kind of
I mean, this happens.
yeah, that is true. That really happens. And I'm very fortunate that I've never been that person who people message in the middle of the night and say online. Has never
Do
happened.
you relate with that?
I can relate with it because it's happened when I was much younger, not anymore.
I think that it is,
Now it doesn't happen to
I
me.
don't know. I've never.
Right now, it's never happened to me in a while. I think because also I uh, made a very like conscious effort to not respond to people. I was like, छोड़ो यार मेरे को बात ही नहीं
Me
करनी.
too.
I did that very consciously. don't want to I don't want to engage in conversations, like, and for me the problem is when I start a conversation online, I can't end it. I need to be I can't leave somebody on read and leave. If they say bye, I have to say bye. I don't know why. If they say bye, I can't leave it and go. Those late night online, there, I just stopped that because I felt like it was just taking away too much of my time and it was draining me. Because if I say something and that person does not reply, I will be awake for the rest of the night. That is my problem.
Oh, so
I,
for me, the problem is I've never replied to these messages, but till date I get these online messages. One, two, everybody who knows me knows that I sleep at 10:30. I'm gone at 10:30. I am in bed, and at 10:45 you can hear me blowing my roof off with my snores. Okay, this is extremely well known, well established fact. But still, people think that if she's up at 12 o'clock and she's doing something, it could be an emergency in my life. But the expectation is that I'd reply to that message.
yeah, and it's also a lot of, and I feel
I
like,
don't know. And then they get angry. They actually communicate this to me over phone. That मैंने तो तुमको कल मैसेज किया था. You did not respond. मैडम आप तो बड़े बिजी हो गए आजकल, रेस्पॉन्ड नहीं करते हम
that's
जैसे गरीबों
sarcastic,
को.
that's
You
sarcastic.
know, this sort of one. Yeah.
Expectations are becoming more and more and more
Yeah.
unreal nowadays.
Everybody wants everything now.
Yeah, it's not possible. I have a laptop at home. I'm not going to open it at 1 o'clock in the morning. Sorry.
Yeah. No.
Like you must, and this really annoys me when there are delays in approvals, etc., etc. And then, like last minute में they're like, एक करके दे दो करके दे दो. नहीं यार, नहीं होगा. I've been asking,
Yeah.
following up. What do you expect me to do? Sit up and be at your service the whole night or day? It's not possible,
Yeah.
you know? And that's where again this whole,
Yeah. That is the expectation. That is the expectation.
yeah, and I feel like with this work from home coming in, with this new culture of online, I hate online meetings. I don't know why people have these meetings. It is such an invasion of, it is such a, I don't know how to call it. Nowadays, people have more meetings than they actually do work. And that is really annoying to me.
That's true.
Every 2 hours, if I'm sitting on a meeting, when am I supposed to work? Then it will definitely. What do you want to meet
I don't.
for? क्या ही बात करोगे उसी टीम
I
से
don't.
रोज? तुम कितना strategize करोगे? You can't strategize every breath you take. Strategy takes time to fall in place, right? You can't keep strategizing.
Oh, thank you for saying that. I don't think most people understand strategy works like that. People think strategy आज करेंगे और कल result देगा. Like this is very difficult to address. And no, and one thing which really pisses me off is when the leader of a organization or your client per se has these monumental expectations of you. Great. Okay, you're supposed to deliver these services which you have promised. Fine. But you have these expectations, but you have no clue about the specificity, right? No idea, like zero, blank, and they're giving you all these BS blanket statements, which are like, "Bhai, what to कहना क्या चाहता है? Can you just be a little more clear on what your expectations are, rather than making us run round and round and round and round. It's like you are figuring out what you want with all the number of options or different kinds of solutions that we're giving you. And I feel that not knowing what you really expect out of your business partners is also like a major issue.
Yeah.
You know what is more annoying? It's when people come to you and say things like, in retrospect, you could have done this. I had these expectations from you, but you never managed to fulfill them. So, for example, and this comes from a lot of relatives. Okay. So you're in this social gathering, with your extended family and things like that. And then they happen to, discuss many things. And one subject somehow lands in your lap. And then immediately, invariably, at least in my case, it somehow is connected to the fact that I studied abroad, but I didn't end up working abroad. I've come back, right? But when these expectations that, and they have nothing to do with you. They're not, you are not feeding, I'm not feeding them. I'm not responsible for their uh, livelihood. I'm not responsible for their well-being. I'm not responsible for their health, their general happiness, nothing. I meet these jokers once in a year. And they still have the audacity to go all the way to that one nerve which really, really, when touched upon, can really, sort of disturb you and like hit it right there where it hurts, or not so much hurt, but create that sort of one feeling inside of you. Ki, yeah, there are people around them who are just adding to that. हाँ
Yeah,
हाँ
I mean,
हमने
this
तो
is,
ये सोचा था, वो सोचा था, इसको देखा, उसको देखा. But really, is this what I want? Do I need this kind of energy? How do I
what
deal with it?
position,
What do I think about it?
what position expectations put you in
Mhm.
most often than not is that they put you in a position where you have to sit down and justify your own life.
Absolutely, you're defending yourself
Defending
to
your
people who have
don't
no
matter.
authority over any of your.
Yeah, and they don't matter. If you like
Yeah,
anybody for that matter, like outside of your closest people, I don't think
yeah,
anybody should
whom
have.
I can count on my finger, on
Yeah,
my
yeah, yeah.
hand.
They should not be coming and saying something like this. It's not your place.
Somehow, absolutely okay to say such things and go back and have a meal and, you know, say
And
bye bye,
they feel like this is
very with a big
this is
smile plastered on your face.
no, they feel like this is me showing them direction. No, I'm giving them tough love. The tough love concept is something I absolutely hate. It doesn't work with anybody. If it works with somebody, there's something wrong with them. Who likes to be the word expectation, right? Book also written great expectations,
Mhm.
and people have great expectations from a lot of people. Now the problem is it's you can't live without expectations from people. It's not possible. Like, you need to have you expect someone to deliver on time. You expect somebody to come to office. You expect, like as a word, it's not a bad thing. When it becomes bad, when it starts becoming really unrealistic. Like, how do you just assume that this person is going to do this? And it's even more annoying when it is directed at somebody who is much younger. Like, how can you pin your hopes and dreams on a 13-year-old kid or a 15-year-old kid? Like, how is that right? You know
I
what?
don't know. And I think people who do this are monsters.
Yeah, I really think they are. Especially when they say, "Oh, I
Mm.
want to live my life, my dreams through you." Like, why couldn't you go achieve your own dream? Now, why are you expecting your child to achieve it? Right? Like, what a nonsense way
Absolutely.
of, what a stupid perspective, and what kind of burden to put on the child. You
Exactly. And
would
a
achieve it.
13-year-old child is somebody who has no idea what they want from their life. I mean, they don't even know the concept of life. Come on.
Yeah, yeah. And keeping in mind that we're talking about Suicide Prevention Month, this is a Suicide Prevention Month. I feel like the more I read about, younger people and children taking their lives, it only makes me question what burden that child must have lived with. I'm not always saying it's the parents.
Absolutely. And
Not
so
always the
sad.
parents,
I mean,
right?
now that you mention it, I just recall reading an article a couple of days ago about this um person in Maharashtra state who cleared the NEET entrance exam, didn't want to be a doctor, was forced to be a doctor. I can't attribute it to who. I have no idea. The article gave no details. So, but the guy simply committed suicide at the age of 19 with a note that I don't want to be a doctor. I mean, it's just so heartbreaking because A, there are millions of Indian children who want to be doctors, who want to grow up
Yeah.
and be in that noble profession. Okay. Two, I think the fact that a 19-year-old person could not talk about it to
Yeah.
anybody
I just don't.
and did not think that there is no other way of dealing with the situation, that he absolutely had to go study medicine and not do anything else with his life, and it seemed like a dead end to him, is so heartbreaking. It's so heartbreaking. I mean, it's
Cannot,
just such a waste of an entire life.
and I cannot reiterate this enough that, your, sorry, I cannot reiterate this enough that, your, like, stop basing everything about a person upon their career. It is so annoying. Like you hear about billionaires who are cruel people. Would you rather be there?
Yeah. Yeah, people who, pull their, wives onto the streets and beat them. And I don't want to be like that. I don't want anybody around me to be
Forget,
like that. I don't want people coming after me to
forget
be
being.
like that. Why?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, if that's the only metric of success, that's the only metric of a well-lived life.
Where else have you
I
failed?
don't even know what we are becoming
Really?
as people. And I don't think projecting your expectations on somebody is going to help them
You
achieve more things or be better at what they're doing or in any way be helpful
I'll tell you one thing. It's very simple. Like, okay,
at all.
this is a human being.
I mean, I was just telling you about this friend of mine.
So there is a lag. One sec. Huh. So, this is how um, it sort of goes, right? Like you have a person, that person is born, then you set one expectation on that person that this person needs to be XYZ in their career. How many people really set an expectation that this child could be a philosopher? Like, come on, it's so important to have philosophy in the world. This child could be a poet. पैसे नहीं कमाएगा ठीक है. We'll teach them how to make ends meet with the money they make. And also, it's a lot of expectations without really looking at situation. Okay, now let's say my parents, not I'm not
Mm.
talking about my parents, but let's say my parents, as an example, said you should be making at least 2 lakhs a month or 3 lakhs.
Hypothetic.
Yeah, hypothetically, my parents say you should at least be making 3 lakhs a month, your talent. Now, okay, I might be making 3 lakhs. Okay. But they don't realize that so many things have changed since 3 lakhs 5 years ago and 3 lakhs today. Right? There's so many factors that sort of come into
Oh,
picture, like the opportunities that are available. Today, there's so much, there's competition also, which has grown, it's growing very exponentially. It's not like thoda
yeah.
competition बढ़ रहा है. The competition is not like before. The growth is not like today. Suddenly you will have. Abhi now AI has come in. How many people are already AI masters? So many people that I know are doing AI. That accessibility has increased competition. So for somebody to get a job worth 3 lakhs, no matter how talented they are, there are lots of factors that come in. Nobody reads about those things.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Nobody
I
questions.
think expectations are based on a person's one part emotion and one part logic. Okay. And then they say this is a reasonable expectation. Okay. Then there is this fancy term called reasonable expectation. And I think that is one of those phrases which, when spoken or told to the person opposite to you, it has a very deep impact. That, okay, so this expectation is not unrealistic. It's supposed to be reasonable. It's supposed to be but I'm sure that there is, in 90% of the cases, that there is no metric which measures what is the or how credible this reasoning is.
Yeah, exactly.
You
There's
know,
I could dance
who
well.
who who is going to measure the amount of reasonableness? Okay.
Thing, right? Like, okay, as a you did very well at XYZ things. You're good at debating, you're good at painting, you're good at drawing, you're good at dancing, blah, 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 whatever. Now, based on that, I don't know what Vichitra maths they have done and said this will be an entrepreneur successful CEO. And I'm dancing and painting, dude, like get a clue. Right?
No, then there are people who are like, okay, she talks very well, so she has to be in the media only. I'm like, okay, if you don't understand that there are many, many other businesses that require people who can speak eloquently, have a good uh, skill set that is related to communications, be able to communicate or their thoughts with a lot of clarity, then please educate yourself. Do not project these crazy expectations where you think this person is going to be a news reader, this person is going to be an MC, this person is going to be in the media, because it doesn't work like that. Just because somebody is
Yeah.
able to communicate well does not mean that the person does not understand maths
There's another
or
thing.
is not good at it,
People feel
or can is good, it can also be great at physics, and they want, like, there are people like me who actually wanted to be engineers and we went on to become, right? But the expectation always was that मेघना को जर्नलिज्म मेघना जर्नलिस्ट बनेगी. हम I had no inclination, zero inclination towards the field, because I never saw myself that way. I never aspired to be in that field. No disrespect to anybody who's pursued it. Great choice, fab. Thank you for the news. I love it. But I don't think I could be doing that.
let's start from home. Okay, there is okay, parents think we gave these values, taught her this much, sent her to so many classes, she will do. Okay. Then there is school that wants you to get good marks. Why? Because their business has to run. If all the kids
They
are
want 100% pass.
yeah. And in the middle of all of that, there is also one tuition which will come in place. And tuition wants results. Why? Because their business has to run. Right. And in the
धंधा चलना.
yeah, in the whole process, they forgot about that child who is going through that process because none of these things matter when you come into the real world. It's just a stepping stone. Like if you got 90-95% whatever, you it's a stepping stone. Okay, you might get a preference in certain colleges over others. That's about it. But I know so many people who have been toppers and 100 out of 100, 200 out of 100, and they have no personality, dude. Like, what is the point?
Expectations. You fulfilled expectations. You've served the purpose of
You know,
living
uh,
or of having a life.
another that's the thing. I'm hoping that we become big enough to change that perspective and say, listen, can you also look at a metric from your school or your college besides marks, like something like a happiness quotient? I don't know, like the happiest countries. Like, see how happy your children are. Are they even thriving? Are they even doing well personally in terms of their confidence? Placement ho gaya to doesn't mean that the child is doing very well for themselves. Like, I don't know why they have these, the metrics are all wrong. This strange obsession with career. Oh God, it is an obsession. As a society, we're obsessed with careers. And it is sad. It's a great thing to have a good job and make money, but if that is the only thing that you have in your life to talk about and feel proud of, well, then you really should not even think of work life balance. तुम work ही करो. तुमको life ही नहीं है तो क्या work life balance मिलेगा तुमको? Right? Like how can that
Talking of which,
yeah.
there's this colleague of mine who, works so much that, and she functions in this sort of way where there's all kinds of expectations from her, right? That she will be the best bahu in the world, that she is going to win the trophy for the best wife, that she is going to be best employee quarter on quarter on quarter, and she's going to run races in her child's school and be the best athlete mom, most athletic mom, and things like that. So this lady comes to office, overperforms, does other departments' jobs as well if need be, super driven. goes back home, picks her child up, gets through the homework, takes him to the place area, finishes the whole, getting him to mingle with kids, playing, etc., etc., finishes her workout during that time, picks the child, comes back, feeds the child, some more studies, simultaneously cooking, finishes rest of the work after the child has been put to bed, and then watches half an hour of Netflix to keep in, to be aware of what is happening in the world, so that tomorrow when you go back to office, you have, you come across as somebody who is updated enough, has caught up on news during the commute to and from um, office home के बीच में, and has also hydrated self, has eaten pumpkin seeds, is getting Korean glass skin shit done. And it's only when all this is done does the person feel that they've done enough to go and have a good sleep. And the expectations are no longer meets expectations. The expectation has been taken to exceeds expectations. And this person is living this life every single day.
I only feel bad for the I feel like who put this expectation? If it's your own, then there's no need to complain.
Oh no, there are people. It's so built into the system that this lady cannot go back and sleep if she hasn't been able to do very well and, really done everything that could be done in a day's time.
That doesn't seem right.
Does not get the. But this is the reality of so many, many women that I work with.
I'll be very honest with you. This is an expectation that women put on themselves, and they're not able to say no at any point. Okay, because they want to live up to certain.
Because then they're also comparing themselves to this person in the
Why?
neighborhood. Yeah, because that's how it works. That's the expectation. That's the peer review expectation that is happening.
Why are you
So
comparing?
you see that there are worlds of expectations that are colliding
Like find a friend
and creating this.
right? You know what I mean? Like, it's just so see, when you're comparing yourself to somebody else, then you are at the root of that expectation that nobody can do anything about.
No, no, it's just that, say, for example, say, for example, she puts her foot down and says, no, I don't want to, participate in my child's athletic competition or in, the school wala competition. Now, the child's expectation is that the mom is going to be there because everybody else's mothers are there.
School competition happens once a year. That's a different story. But
what I'm saying is, ऐसे ही हर रोज कुछ ना कुछ रहता है कि मेरी मम्मी इसमें पार्टिसिपेट नहीं करी, मेरी मम्मी उसमें पार्टिसिपेट नहीं करी, मेरी बीवी यहाँ पे नहीं गई, मेरी बीवी वो नहीं कर पाई, मेरी बहू ये नहीं कर पाई, ये सत्संग नहीं जा पाई.
Sort of, if they have daughters, I hope that they can teach them better, is all I'm saying. That you don't have to do it all. You don't have to do it all, yeah. That's all I can say. You have got stuck in it like that. You don't have a way out. Maybe it's your life. But if that is a life that's bothering you, if it's difficult for you, and I am certain that they have a huge mental load from all of this. There's something called mom's mental load. It's a very spoken about thing. The mental load of being a mother is a talk we also did long time ago, and it's a real thing. Moms have that. And a lot of moms today are setting, I hate this word, but boundaries, saying that, you know what, I also am a person.
Yeah.
If you're going to forget that, then what is the point of it all? How long are you going to chase expectation? Like I have a limit after which I'm going to say, no, dude, I'm going to sleep today. Do what you want.
Like one day like this, and Nupa, trust me, I'm going to have I'm going to be running on 105 fever for a month.
No, and I
Like
also think that
pakka.
because they're moms.
I am somebody who cannot physically go through this.
If
Like,
they're
I
all
can't.
moms, then that is the thing. Like moms are like that. Moms become like that. I have seen people change after having a child because their sense of what is that after they become mother, a lot of their time is taken away, like physically to not be able to achieve something. Maybe, I don't know, like physically you're not able to do a lot of things. And this is There's a lot of fear and a lot of this. It's a real fear,
Or catching up sort of.
not just catching up. What if I just end up being somebody's mother? That is a real fear.
Yeah,
I have that
could
fear.
be,
If
could be.
tomorrow I have a kid, I'm very afraid I'll only be this one's mom.
Yeah, yeah, the identity sort of,
Yeah, and
you know.
because you are away from the world for almost 9 months, not away from the world, but you're not able to be at your peak, quote unquote. People are a lot more forgiving when you're pregnant or whatever. Maybe you feel like, oh, I don't want this sympathy treatment to continue, or I don't want this to
Yeah.
continue. I don't want people to feel like I need. And that is a thing, and if you've seen this, I'm sure most of the women are talking about are moms, right?
Yeah.
Most of them are moms, and I feel like that is a struggle that we have as women, because we have to do well in work also, we have to do well in home also. Why, I don't know, but we have to do. Uh,
We have to do.
we are the victims of
Expectation. We
expectations of
know why.
patriarchy
Expectation.
and feminism. We are the victims of both. Both of them. इसने बोला काम
We
करो,
are stuck in
बोला
some we are stuck in some strange ass generation,
क्या
which
यार,
is
and now
ना इधर
slowly
का ना उधर का,
technology,
मतलब इंसान ने
very
7 कलर्स वाला
slowly.
टीवी से लेके मतलब आईपैड तक सब कुछ देख लिया है, मैकबुक प्रो एंड आईफोन 17 प्रो, एवरीथिंग इंसान ने देख लिया है. एंड we are itna, there'll be so many changes that have happened so quickly, and the information overload, the social media, all kinds of changes that have happened. I think in the last 2 decades, 2.5 decades, I think have really messed with us.
I'm saying that we are victims of both feminism and patriarchy, right? Trust me, few more years, men will also face the issue of both. Today, if a woman posts a video of her taking care of a kid, first message that you'll see, where is your husband? Why is he not helping? Like, what do you mean? To like, they're strangers putting expectations on you. Imagine this. Huh? I spent this whole day with my child. Oh, where is your husband? Is he an absent father? Like, what do you mean, यार वो काम पे गया है, मुझे आज छुट्टी था, मैंने वीडियो बना लिया. You have to justify your stance to so many people. And today it is like, uh, if a woman likes to cook and she's cooking in the house and she's also working, it's like, oh, but तेरा पति हाथ नहीं बटाता है. अरे उसको नहीं करना यार. I've chosen to do it. So it's both of us are going to be victims of this very soon, because it's such a dual thought process, right? It's not one. Neither one is
Extremely polar.
neither one is correct. Like absolutely correct. Okay, both are necessary at their times, but both are messed up in their own way. And I would blame patriarchy a little more because it's been more long
You know,
standing and more controlled.
yeah, yeah, it's that things have, but I I I I've also had friends who, who are maybe getting married or want to get married, or are meeting in these arranged marriage setups with people and things like that. And they meet with their alliance partners, families, and things like that. No matter how like one of my friend feels the weight of this sort of expectation, this sort of patriarchal expectation. She is invariably better qualified, but the expectation, there are these subtle undertones, these subtle things that people say, which is like, "Ha, you can be the CEO of a certain company, that's okay, that's up to you, that's got nothing to do with me. घर में खाना आपको बनाना पड़ेगा, और जो उसको अच्छा नहीं लगता है, maybe, this is sort of an expectation. Or but you will have to be submissive. You
That's
can be whatever you want outside."
not an expectation, that's a job description. Please don't marry that person.
This sort of expectation makes a person very, very sort of, I mean, it's disturbing, right? That particular experience can be very, यार, what the hell, क्यों मैंने time waste किया है यहाँ पे? What a
And that said, like if we were to conclude this right now, what is it going to be? It's not going to, people are not going to stop having expectations from you. But you could probably do a better job of standing up for yourself. That's the only thing you can do. So the thing is, you can go on forever about, like, this person has expectation, that person has. But, I really feel like at some point, when it gets too much, if you don't have friends, you don't have family, you don't have anyone to talk to, there is help available. And help does not mean that you have to be depressed or, you know, you must have mental health disorder or something like that to speak to someone.
No, rant like us.
Yeah, if you have no one to rant with, there are people who can give you acceptable advice. And there are free helplines over, like Telemanas is one of them. There are free helplines available where you call somebody and say, I wish this person who took his life saying, I don't want to be a doctor, was able to give this helpline a call and say, listen, this is what is happening to me.
Yeah.
It's just the way it is. Nobody said that it should be like, it's just how it is.
Yeah.
Right? And what can you do about it? Nothing. Nothing you can do about it.
Yeah.
Till the last day
Nothing.
you're going to be able, you're going to live, all of us, it's a looming prophecy that I'm going to make right now, is that each one of us till the last is going to be trying to prove something to the people that we love the most, which is very sad.
But I think if we can just free ourselves of this expectation,
You
I
can't.
think things can be a little lighter. I think can be I mean, you can't is the harsh reality,
Yeah, you can't. And
but nobody stopped us from trying, right? So we try,
we can try, we should try, we should continue
and
to try
maybe,
that, you know set.
and maybe something will happen.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. Sometimes I feel like, you know, how do I explain this? Sometimes that's what I told you. The sad thing is you don't have to prove it to anybody else. There's nobody else that you, even if you do badly at work and all of that, nobody gets affected as much as your family does. Because one, financially, yes, but also they feel like it's embarrassing to be kicked out of a job. Why? Why should it be embarrassing for you to be fired, especially in today's scenario? Is that something that should cause embarrassment in society? Like, think about it. You just got fired from a job. Like, I have lost clients and I feel embarrassed about it. And it's a stupid thing to feel embarrassed about. Are you going to always keep progressing in the
The last thing, yeah, and the last thing I need, yeah, and the last thing I need is a cycle of thought in my head which tells me that I've really let people around me down.
why? Why? Okay. Where were they up? किधर थे वो लोग जहाँ पे हमने छोड़ दिया is my question. कहाँ कहाँ रख where had they kept themselves that we let them down? Like, did I put you up there? No. You put yourself up there, now I let you down. No bad, deal with it.
I don't know.
No, no.
Gravity did its job.
Yeah, you let yourself down because they place this big expectation and one level of importance of their, my word. I have said, so I have brought up, so I have said this, I have done this, I have trained you like this, I have taught you like this, and you let me down. You put yourself on a pedestal, bro. I didn't.
There's mismanagement of expectation to such a level that women die because their parents have not been able to keep the dowry commitment that they had given to their husband. There are situations where women go and set themselves ablaze, or they've jumped off windows and things like that because they've constantly hearing this backlash from the family they're married into that तुम्हारे पापा ने ये बोला था लेकिन ये नहीं किया. And somehow these people pay the price for it, which is very sad.
And it's time that
Expectations set by somebody else. Expectation, the result expected by somebody else. But the victim is completely a party that has nothing to do with these scenarios. And it's just heartbreaking, I feel.
yeah,
And I
and
mean, we've not even gone to the gorier side of these things, right?
there's, oh God, yeah, of course, there's much worse that happens, and nothing can be
Yeah.
worse than the loss of life, human, animal,
Yeah.
anything, and if that's where our expectations are heading, then I think it's about time we rethink how we talk to children, how we talk to people around
So
us.
many
Like,
so
just,
many reevaluations.
yeah, just rethink the
So
way,
many.
uh, like, थोड़ा सा अपने लिए Stand up for yourself and don't think that no, you've not let anybody down in most situations. If you actually evaluate it, you've really not let anybody down. I've not done something very horrendous in my life. I could have been a billionaire by cheating people. That is letting people down, not being an honest human being. I feel
A hardworking, honest person.
yeah, that's my joint. Somebody feels let down by that. Well, sorry, you put yourself on that pedestal, you're gonna fall.
You are free to be let down.
You want to sit there, sit there. That's my problem. I've not let you down. If you're fallen from there, it's your problem. That
Absolutely.
and that's my take on expectation. I think they suck, but I think the necessity for us to function as society. But please, I hope people can find a voice and say no once in a while. And I hope people can be better in the dialogues that they have with people around them. Like you don't have to bother
Yeah,
about,
especially with impressionable young minds.
yeah, like people
I
who,
think a little more empathy, a little more thinking about how to frame what they want to, communicate.
yeah,
Maybe a little more thought.
yeah, be a little more organic about it. Have conversations that are difficult also, nothing like that. But don't define somebody by some things that they do when they're kids. Like it's just stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think
Chalo.
that is the end of our
We had a long
rant. Yeah, but